Do not post your referral codes in the comment section below. Doing so will result in being blocked and reported. Thank you. Hey guys, Jaybo785 coming to you here today to talk a little bit about the Puppet Master Strikes Back event. As you watched my last video, I gave you a little bit of detail, but we're going to just talk about some of the key attributes to that. And speaking of attributes, one of the most common questions that I get is, where should I put my attributes? You know, attribute points go where? I'm going to be talking about that, how to build a pure of sense, how to build a defense leader, how to build an attack hybrid, you know, that kind of thing. Where you should put them, why, when you should put them there. And, of course, buying packs. Now, if you log on to Rage Bahamut, one of the things that they're really trying to do, and honestly, if I was a new player, I would actually really encourage this, was daily 100 coin, mobile coin pack campaign under the way. So basically, once a day you can buy a $1 pack. And considering most of those packs cost like fucking 20, 30 bucks, I actually think that was a pretty good idea. But before you start buying those packs, this is something that I really want to bring to everybody's attention. It's something that really needs to be addressed by the Rage of Bahamut staff before you should spend any money on this game. If you go to the top ranking order of the Puppet Master event, so click on your ranking or click on your orders ranking under the Puppets tab, and then hit top rank, you'll see that the top 3 guys already have 706 million points of damage. That's almost 4,000 attacks for the #1 leader, and I think this is 2 days into this event. Now, if you look at the 3rd player, Lavacality, this guy had over 240 million points worth of damage just a couple hours after the event came out. Now, guys, I've been no-lifing it, and honestly, I'm ranked top 4,900 at the moment. I have 15 million points worth of damage. I've been spending countless personal holy powders on this event, probably close to 60 already. Oh, by the way, thank you for those that have used my referral code, because it's because of you guys that I've had that many personal holy powders. Thank you again for that. I cannot express my appreciation enough. But that being said, even if you're spending thousands of holy powders on this event, there's no goddamn way you can get that many points within that amount of time. Needless to say, they're exploiting some type of bug, some type of glitch, or cheating some way. Now, that's not to say that a lot of those top players are all cheaters. There's people in the top 1,000 that are legitimate players. There's people probably in the top 200 that are legitimate players. But those top 10, they need to be investigated. Because that's complete and utter bullshit to people like you that are spending your hard-earned cash on this game. Before you buy any packs or spend any money on this game, I really encourage you to send a note of advisory or concern to the Rage of Bahamut staff. And honestly, guys, my 917 competition video, which expresses that concern and urges you to do that, either, talking about the bazaar system, I am now going to include if you're concerned about those top 10 players and if they're playing legitimately. There has so far been no submissions to that competition yet. And guys, I really want you to try to join in on this competition. Because, as you can see, I now have 207 subscribers, which means that I'm going to give out that new high prize. I'm going to give out one really good prize to the first place winner of this video. And if that means that if I have to extend this video competition by another week, I will. But please participate in that. I really want to give out that player that legitimate prize, that really, really good prize. So please do that. And speaking of prizes, let's go ahead and talk about what some of the prizes are given out for this Puppet Master event. Now, guys, I'm using RageTradeBlogspot.com, and I recommend that you get on here and check this out yourself. It's a really, really good website. And I think the author's name of this website is Miss Mizuki, and I'm sorry if I enunciated that right, but she's written some amazing articles. Really worth taking the time to read. Very talented player, very talented author. get on here and check them out. So, one thing that's really pissed me off about this event is that I've been stocking up on R.O.B Riches and Axe Masters, which I've always said were really highly underappreciated. During the Roar of the Dragons event, those cards would give out a big boost and a medium boost to dragons, and then I think a medium boost and a small boost against large bosses. So I'm guessing that they're considered these golems, which to me looks like a big ass boss. I mean, here you got this guy and this guy here. Has a large boss, but apparently that's not working because I'm using 3 Axe Masters and 2 R.O.B Riches in my deck to fight these things, and I've killed over a couple hundred of them now, and the effect never goes off. So, I think that's some bullshit. I'm really disappointed in the Rage Bahamut staff for doing that because apparently they really want you to buy the Elder or blah 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 gal here to get that event to go off. So I think that's utter bullshit, you know, that they basically released a card with the exact same effect, has an Axe Master, has an R.O.B Rich, has an OD, has all the other cards out there, and they won't let their effects go off. So I really think that those cards, Axe Master still holds some value in the 4th and 5th place of a man deck, but all the rest of those cards, just because their attacks are way too low, are completely worthless. And in fact, this card is pretty much completely worthless. I think I just cannot express how disappointed I am with that. So, that being said, let's go ahead and scroll down. You know, we got this card here, which I think is that's the rare card. I really don't know its stats. It's probably not that great. It's probably just a little bit better than a Hobbit. There's also some type of girl that came out in a black dress. I forget her name. It's some weird Japanese name that basically has the same effect, is where it blocks one attack from one of these boss monsters. You know, if you're a brand new player, and if you can get an 815 for one of these, and it's properly evolved, then, yeah, if you need it in your deck, go ahead, but you could find something better. And its effect really does not go off enough to make it worthwhile. You know, it blocks one attack, and honestly how that works is they're going to attack one guy, and then maybe your last 2 at the same time. So if you happen to block attack, you think that, oh, it's one guy, and one more guy, and then the last 2 being killed off. It doesn't work that way. She'll kill off all 3 of you guys in the last attack. So it's just a worthless freaking effect, okay? I was running 5 Hobbits at one point in time. The effect hardly ever went off. If it did go off, it really didn't matter and didn't make it worthwhile. We have the high card, the Puppet Master. It is a big hit to foes God attack. Defense 14,696 for 4/6 Evo. From what I've seen, they're going for about 8 or 9 HP per on the Bazaar. That was yesterday's, price. Maybe they're a little bit cheaper now. So it sounds like it's a decent price. But if you take a look at Master Witch, okay, which is essentially the same effect, then the defense is 15,521. Okay, so this card, all right, is worse than that. Same class. You have to earn it through the event, so it's a little bit harder to get, although everybody's got one, like an opinion. I don't understand why they would release this card. There's something out there that's really cheap already, that's better, that already exists, and that you can get for practically nothing. I think they're going for maybe a max of 9 HP, so 1 HP per more, and is better on the Bazaar. So why? I don't understand the concept unless you're just trying to get more max archive bonuses, okay? Now, that's the best thing you can really get from your order bonus, okay? And from your personal bonus of advancing through those different stages and killing off so many of these. Everything else, you have to get individual ranking, okay? So, that's when you start getting into the SR card, the Master Alchemist. 4/6 is a 20,000 attack, 17,000 defense, and it's a great hit to God's defense. That's nice. This is something that I would put in my deck if I had enough of them. But I think you have to come in top 5,000. Let me double check that real quick, guys, and don't quote me on that. Oh, her power requirement is 29, so that's kind of freaking high and kind of expensive. Order ranking, order ranking. Let's see, this is Master Alchemist. So, I was thinking High Alchemist. So you actually have to come in 4,999 or below. And that gets you 100 gems, okay? One spot right above that is High Alchemist, which is 2 of those and 3 legend card packs. It's going to be hard to get 4 of these things, okay? Just saying, she's probably going to go for a decent price. She's a good man card. Compared to Sigmund, which only has like a 13,000 attack, this 7,000 attack more, and something that if you get a 4-6 of these is probably going to stay in your deck for quite a while. Then, of course, the SSR card, which a 4-6 of this is 25,000. Massive boost to all. So, that's quite a bit more of a percentage, guys, than your typical big boost or great boost, okay, or whatever that's called. This is the SSR award card, so you are going to have to come in the top 1,000 to get one of these things. And that's going to be damn near impossible because of all those fucking cheaters in the game. But if you can get one of these, it's going to be an ungodly high price, okay? This, I'm just going to throw out a number here. I'm going to guess it's going to be at least 500, 600 HP. The attack is really high up there. It's a God card, which is honestly more popular than the Man series, and probably just as popular, or maybe a little less popular than the Demons realm. It has a really good defense, and the being a massive boost rather than just a big boost, it's honestly a ton better than a lot of cards already out there. So, that being said, my overall review of this event, unless you come in the top 5,000, it isn't worth wasting your HP, your cure water, or your time on. You know, have fun with it. Advance through all the stages, get your master golem or whatever the damn thing's called, and sell it off. Because this event just does not even come close to what the Roar of the Dragons event was. So, that being said, I think I've summed up the Puppeteer event. It's fun, but is the awards worth it? No, it's not. It left a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, especially with the fact, since that the Axe Masters and the R.O.B Riches effects won't go off, okay? So, let's go ahead and just sum this video up real quick of where you should put your attribute points, especially for new players and advanced players, okay? Starting off, get up to 100 stamina points as fast as you can, okay? Now, as a lot of you probably already know, there's 37.3 waves or something like that in the game. Every time you advance through one of those waves, which there's usually 10 waves per level, you get 1 attribute point bonus, okay? So, what you want to do is get up to 100 stamina points right away. Then start working on getting up a little bit of defense and getting up a little bit of your attack points, okay? Especially if you're working on getting those treasure cards at that time, alright? But mainly just focus on stamina points. Now, when you get to about 200 stamina points, that's when you're going to want to make sure that you have at least 100 defense points and 100 attack points, okay? Now, I recommend going up to about 300 stamina points and no more. I learned that the hard way. I'm at 350 stamina points, and I'm going to have to change that, and I'll explain how you do that. So when you get to about 300 stamina points, which you'll be a decent level by then, and I recommend once you get to the 200 stamina point level, you start taking the extra bonus 1 attribute points, start putting them into attack, okay? Only keep your defense points to about 100, maybe 110, maybe 120, depending on if you have some really good defensive cards to put in that slot, okay? When you finally get up to about 300 stamina points, depending on your level and depending on your attack points, which hopefully you're about 300 stamina, 200 attack, 100 defense, what you're going to want to do, depending on your level, what you max out at 50 fellows, okay, is go ahead and start taking every fellow point you get and putting it into attack until you're about 300 stamina, 300 attack, 100 defense, okay? And then what you're going to want to do is when you finally max out those fellow levels, which hopefully you're about 300 stamina, 300 attack, is every time you have a fellow spot open, start putting that into your defense, okay? or if you have those 50 fellow spots, that probably means that you have a lot of weak fellows, which on events like Puppet Master, when you have to call your fellows, you're going to get a lot of inactive people that won't help you fight those bosses. Start weaning those off 1 per day. Take those 5 attribute points, which is probably going to be on your highest skill, okay, which is hopefully stamina, and then start putting that into your defense. Because when you play events like Holy War, especially if you're attack leader, which means that somebody attacking you gets extra bonus points, you're going to need to have a good defense deck. Otherwise, it just makes it so that you cannot compete, okay? So, just to sum that up, start dumping everything into stamina. Okay, you want stamina as your highest skill. And then you're going to slowly start to build up attack, leaving defense as your last one, okay? Eventually, when you get to the high skills, once per day, remove 1 fellow, add another fellow, and put those points into your defense, okay? So that being said, what your stats should look like when you finally get done and you have at least 50 fellows is I recommend that you have at least 400 attack, 200 defense, and then the rest being into your stamina, okay? So guys, I hope that video has helped you out. Remember, if you have an extra advice laying around, or if you're a new player planning on joining, please use my referral code RUM26800. That gets you a free rare card. That's the same for me. If you have any questions or comments, please message me here in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Or if you have any concerns, please message me in-game. Username Jaybo785. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is Jaybo785 signing off.